Wow, what a game between PAO and Efes. I really don't know where to start because in my head this whole game I was like, okay, so PAO is winning this game. It doesn't seem like Efes is gonna come back, and this whole series has been like this, a game of runs. Like in the first game as well, Efes had a chance to get back, and then I really believed at one point they had like an 8-point deficit last game. They didn't manage to do that, but this game in the fourth quarter, they got it done somehow. What do you think was the key factors to get that win?
Honestly, their defense. I feel like they've been doing a pretty good job on Kendrick. I think we talked about like eventually he's going to make some shots. Some of the shots that he has taken that he's been missing, he's going to make. But you can see Efes is doing like a really good job of trying to contain him the best they can. And then on the other end, like Shane's been balling. You know what I'm saying? He's been carrying his team. Dozier's been stepping up. Poirier's been balling as well, you know what I'm saying? So Efes got a good little momentum. I think that was the biggest difference. Like the first game, it was like PAO made that big run, you know what I'm saying? Like they usually end up kicking it up in the fourth, but this time it was Efes who kind of like sustained and did what they needed to do.
And looking at the players, I guess the difference as well is first game wasn't Nunn's game either. He was missing a lot of shots, turning the ball over. This game, similar story, similar result, but the difference was that Juancho didn't have this crazy 40 PIR game, 16 points, 14 rebounds he did in the first one. He only made his first field goal, actually. It was a three-pointer with 6 minutes left. So you got probably definitely not the normal Juancho performance, something less than that. But then you also don't have none. Then who do you go to? In these situations, we were talking about this as well. Sluka's got the ball in certain spots when Kendrick was struggling. Also, Grant had some initiative. He made that one crazy fadeaway jump shot that it was called a technical foul on him, even though he made the shot. We thought it was actually more of an and one situation.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't really like the kick out leg thing, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a very natural motion in my opinion. He's catching the ball, running towards the baseline, turning his body and fading away. Like your leg's gonna naturally kick out a little bit. Tough call.
and I think it was a big moment because at that point, if they make that shot, well, they did make that shot. It was 73-68, I think. They would have had another chance to get another point and the possession. Instead, it goes to Efes. And I think Shane makes a free throw. And then it just turns out that Efes comes back into the game. Like you said, Poirier is having a great series, and I think it reflects on the lack of Matthias Lazort in the paint there. I think that's what exactly what Efes is doing this series very well, is going inside with Poirier's body. He's just a big guy. Like his presence there, either it's for a lob, he's a lob threat, but also if you give him the ball deep enough, he can finish around the rim. And I think even though Yurtseven, who actually, another thing to note, Yurtseven got his fourth foul. I think there was 2 fouls in a row, one on the offensive end and one on the defensive end, and it was like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. That got him out of the game. They got basically Efes got the best rim protector that PAO has out of the game early, and I think that reflected on what Efes was able to do in the paint.
Yeah, for sure. Even Poirier's rebounding, like he's dominating the glass, like he's just taking up a whole lot of space in the paint, making it easier for guys to just throw it over the top for the lobs, or even feel comfortable taking those little mid-range or the little floaters, knowing that he's going to get his hands on it to maybe tip it in. So, yeah, he's been playing really well.
Do you find it weird that even though on paper Panathinaikos has a deeper roster and they got guys like Slukas, Jerryan Grant coming off the bench, I think the bench scoring this game was actually on Efes' side. Do you find that weird, or that's something to expect?
I mean, not really, just because, when you look at Pana, who they've been throughout the year, like they're a super explosive scoring team, but a lot of that is from Kendrick. So a lot of guys get their rhythm based on him, you know what I'm saying, doing what he's been doing the whole year. So now you can kind of see that since he doesn't have it going, they're all kind of looking around. It's like, all right, who can go? Because they're all super talented. Like you've seen, like Grant just had a massive game. We know Slukas is going to have a massive game at some point. He has crazy moments, that lob three at the end of the quarter. And then at some point in time, Kendrick's going to make shots. So I think for PAO, you got to lean your head on the fact that, look, like we could be 2-0 and we haven't been playing our best basketball. Our best player hasn't been playing his basketball. We know he's going to turn it around. So we need it to turn around. But when it does, I know they're going to be confident.
And do you think this is something that is the result of Ephes' defense? That the fact that none had like 3 of 10 last game from 3, this game it was 1 from 6. Is that purely defense, or he just is not making some of his shots, or are all those shots just difficult?
I think it's a mix of both. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think Ephes is doing a great job on him, but then like I think there was a layup that he had on the right hand side that he missed. That was clearly a bunny. He makes 10 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Or 9 out of 10 times. So some of it is Ephes' defense, but some of them is just not his night. You know what I'm saying? But he'll make some of these shots for sure. Even in the first game, he didn't make a lot of shots, but you've seen he caught on fire, but the shots didn't count because refs called either moving screen or something got called and the shot didn't go away. But if those go in, he has a different game completely.
Let's break down that ending of the game. That was quite dramatic. It seemed like there was a 3-pointer from Juancho where he could have tied it. He missed that. They could have actually went ahead. Then Larkin hits that fadeaway 3 with about a minute left. I think then Nunn was like taking a super hard 3, expecting a foul. Do you think it was anything to do with some ref calls? Because the whole arena was not satisfied with how those last few possessions went. Then Nunn actually had that chance to tie the game. He missed 1 3-pointer, I think, and then they got defensive rebound. Again, I think they were saying that maybe... I think Bryant stepped on the line when he touched the ball or something, and then, but still, it ended up with Nunn having not an open shot, but a shot from the corner. What do you think? How would you break down that last few possessions?
Man, really hectic, honestly. I kind of knew I was calling out as I was watching that Shane was going to come back for that handoff once I seen Poirier pop back out for the 3. Had no clue if he was going to make it or not, but he ended up making it, and that just put a lot of pressure on PAO, you know what I'm saying? Like, PAO is another favorite for some people to win it all. So they're at home. They obviously, like Adamon talks about them winning it all or just going to the Final Four, you know what I'm saying? So that's just a bunch of pressure on them. So once Sharon makes that shot, you've been dominant for most of the game. Now Ephes is up with what was it, like 50 seconds left? Like, that can make any player nervous. Then Kendrick comes down, he tries to make the answer. Like you said, he probably thought he got fouled, ends up missing. And then from there, it's scramble mode.
He made 1 3-pointer, I think, from the corner. That was his only 3 this game as well. That was crucial. But yeah, then Ephes made some free throws because they already had the 2 possession lead. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta make those shots that you get. Another thing,
took it 2 though. We was talking about that as well. Like he could have drove it. They had a lot of time and then maybe foul because I think they was only down 3 still. But I mean,
yeah. What do you think about that inside defense from PAO? Do you think there's something they can do? Because like we said, Lazort's not there right now, and they're attacking the paint a lot, especially when they don't get it going from the outside. If they're missing some shots, which they did, Ephes this game. They get to that paint, and then it seems like, we said, Yurt 7, he's athletic, he has a length, he can jump pretty high, but he's kind of like skinny for the center position for a guy like Poirier, let's say.
Right.
What do you think they can do about stopping guys like Poirier inside? Derek Willis, again, great effort inside, grabbing those rebounds, all these little plays.
Honestly, there's not much you can do. I think with Poirier, maybe just face guard a little bit more when shots go up, trying to keep him off the glass. And then you're just going to have to live with what he's doing in the post. Like, they want to post up, live with his hook shots, try to just make it as tough as possible. Even on some of the lobs, maybe stay home with him a little bit more, but you're going to have to pick your poison. If it's Shane coming down the lane, like, probably going to want to step up, you know what I'm saying? Dozier's unshown. He's hitting that mid-range jumper. So now that puts you in kind of a bind for what to do, because if you step up on him, then you got Poirier coming down, or you can stay in that drop so Poirier don't get the ball, but then he's been hitting that shot. So Efes has found something, but PAO's going to make adjustments. I think they'll come back and they'll be ready game 3.
It's something that we spoke about as well in terms of Kendrick Nunn and adjusting throughout the series. We saw that last year against Maccabi. The first few games weren't great, but then when he went to those away games, he was actually balling and carrying that team. So that's something to expect, I think, to see Kendrick Nunn have 2 games in a row that he did right now. I wouldn't expect a third one, to be honest.
Me neither.
Yeah, and I guess the only other thing I thought about when that situation, when they were inbounding the ball and we were saying, who do they go to when Kendrick Nunn is struggling? Obviously, you got Lucas as probably the option to go to. But I thought Lorenzo Brown off the bench actually was playing quite good basketball, making his shots, creating for others. And he wasn't really playing in that fourth quarter that much. And I thought that was another option that they could have used.
Man, I was thinking Lorenzo Brown right when you asked that. That's one of those things when you're just like on a super talented team, you got guys like Lorenzo Brown who aren't in the game in those moments, which is kind of crazy because he's super talented and can create his own shots, can get other people the ball. So that's just one of the problems that PAO has, I guess, even if you want to consider that a problem, they have too many good players. But yeah, Lorenzo Brown would be an option for me, for sure.
Now the series is 1-1. They're going to play those away games. We know PAO this season had a rough stretch of games when it came to the away ones. They actually had a negative record of 8-9 away. One of the only team in the top 5 to have a negative record away. What do you think now? How is this series gonna play out in general?
I mean, I'm honestly throwing all the regular season stuff kind of out the window. You know what I'm saying? It's playoff time now. Like, their only focus is for this team. They just played them 2 times. You know what I'm saying? So now all the tricks are out the bag. They kind of know what Efes is going to bring. Efes knows what PAO's going to bring. So now it's just about who's going to make the adjustments and do what they need to do to win the game.
Yeah, Shane, actually, I wanted to say something about Shane Larkin because that's, I think, gonna be a key factor if he's now back on this wave and back in that A shape that we're used to, because we haven't seen him for a while because of his injuries. You know, struggling for I don't know how many games he missed this season, but for the last however many years he's been struggling back injury, I think you said. And now this game and the last game as well, even though he could have made a few more 3-pointers last game, but he had like 17 points. This game, he had, I think 20 points, 4 of 6 from 3. I think he's becoming the Shane that we're used to, and probably a tough thing to figure out for PAO. They have Jerian Grant, but that guy can create a shot against anyone, really. So that's something I'll be looking at moving forward. Also, I think when it comes to a longer playoff series, especially when you're playing 2 games in 3 days, now they're going to have a break, but then again, you'll have another 2 games in 3 days. I think the depth of your talent will matter here as well. In a long series where you have fatigue playing a factor as well, I think there's a chance that PAO will just have more breath left in them, I think, when it comes to those game 3 and 4. But I don't know, from the player's perspective, do these things matter?
I mean, I can see that, and it's like far as Shango, I think the last one might have been his wrist, but I don't really know if it's going to matter as much. I really don't know, and I kind of blanked on the question you just asked.
Just about their advantage in depth, but then now I looked at the actual box score. Even though they have more talent, but they're really sticking to that 8-9 man rotation. Ataman's known for doing that, and I'm kind of doubting what I said about having more depth, because even though you have more players that could potentially be on the floor, really Ataman just using his 8-man rotation. Yeah.
Usually in the playoffs too, the rotation usually shrinks. But the one thing I was thinking when you was asking that was, it can be a disservice because the players that are rested, do they have the rhythm to come into a game 3 and game 4 and produce? You know what I'm saying? Have they been in a rhythm? You know what I'm saying? Like that matters as a player. How are you even feeling out there? Are you confident? And right now, the players that are playing for both teams are in that rhythm. So you kind of want to keep that going. I think these guys, for the most part, all have major EuroLeague experience. I think they know what they're getting themselves into as far as minutes and playing and being ready.
Let's do some predictions. Do you think PAO goes back to Athens? Was this their last home game, or will we see them having to fight it out in the game 5? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a game 5 now. I think game 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all predicted something like that, 3-2 against Efes. Maybe I did 3-1, but some guys predicted 3-2. After this game, now seeing that they can take a game away, Efes did, and the way in the shape that they are in right now, those years as well, like you said, stepped up. Shane, Poirier, they're a dangerous team, really.
Dangerous. Willis hasn't even really been hitting his threes like that, so if he gets to hitting his threes, and especially he got some open looks, Efes can be scary.
Yeah, and doesn't matter that Panathinaikos lost today. I wanted to say, if you want a T-shirt like that with Kendrick Nunn or someone who looks like Kendrick, looks like him, for copyright reasons, I'm saying that, make sure to check out shop.basketnews.com.